Oh yes, we're back with another breakdown. Yes, again, it's the Date Master. I'm gonna revisit this Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey situation. Let me tell you what brought this about. I was I came across one of Meek Mill's tweets, and he said, "You never really had a baddie." It was something to that effect. You haven't had a baddie for real if you don't know that they're slicker than us. It was something to that effect. So one asks, when you see, you question a man's movement, not even movement, but you look at his taste and say, why is he dealing with this chick? Why is he dealing with that chick? There's always more than one direction to take, as a man dating, getting your jollies, etc. But this Michael B. Jordan, Lori Harvey situation reveals something. You take a man like Michael B. Jordan. I've said this in plenty of my videos, and I know a lot of my videos are ahead of their time. Some of you guys and future listeners will go through it in the future, if not going through it now, and you'll come across my content later because it has to mature. It matures very well. This is a prime example. I've always stated, if a man picks a chick after a certain relationship or a certain history, he needs to know why. He needs to have a certain vision sight. And I told you that women use men and relationships, certain relationships, interactions with men to repair their ego. In this case, Lori Harvey used Michael B. Jordan to repair her ego after Future destroyed it. You listen to Future's rhetoric and his, speech and views. People will call him all kind of toxic, masculine, toxic. He's toxic, this, that, and the third, but they love it. Women love when women use the word toxic. She doesn't really mean toxic because in a lot of cases she is toxic, and especially if she comes from a toxic background. This is where you start slowly extracting relationship data. You find out, this is what she likes. Now, what she tries to do, she tries to get away from it, but she can never get away from what she likes, especially what she loves. I did the video yesterday and a few days back about why women intentionally stay in the dating pool. It is to they wishfully hope to run back or run back across the guy who imprinted her or the guy who she never really got her rocks off with. She will purposely remain. This is why they complain. Just think about the dating pool. Dating is an option. It is not mandatory. So when you look at terms and statements and concepts like the quote unquote dating pool, you get in and out of the dating pool whether or not it is with someone or by yourself. You ever go swimming? You can go with people, you can go with your significant other, but you can also go by yourself. You can get out of the pool at any time that you wish. You do not have to date someone to say you escaped or are no longer in the dating pool. Being single is not it's a lifestyle that you can choose to be. You can say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be single for this period. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to develop myself. In many cases, women do not do this unless it's a hard fall. Now, if it's a hard fall and kids are involved, they will take some time to themselves to, get their financial situations in order, because in a lot of cases, they may have been leaning on the man 100%, 80%, 70%, 50, and so on. So depending on how much they were leaning on the man will determine how much time they will need to themselves to get themselves back acclimated to being independent, having their own space, managing their own space, et cetera, et cetera. Now, again, with a lot of beautiful women, Beauty can be one of the most manipulative traits a woman can possess, but you cannot really detect because they use their beauty as a mask. Lori Harvey, again, is a prime example. She came to Michael B. Jordan. He thought he had one. He said, okay, the vibe is cool again. She's been with several different men, so she knows what men likes. She knows what we like. So it's nothing for her to get up under a guy like Michael B. Jordan, who may have dealt with, some women, but not a lot of women like Lori Harvey, the beautiful seductress who's socially and calibrated to go from a P. Diddy to a Future simply off her looks that we see. Now, we know there's personality, maybe the way she speaks, her mannerisms. You look at her pictures and photos, she looks very innocent. She looks very youthful. She's a gorgeous woman. So when you see men who date down, it is not without cause. They have a reason for this. Some men choose to date down to avoid this very scenario here. They choose to go with a bigger woman. They choose to go a safe route because they cannot handle the emotional damage, or they have not been elevated to the point to where they're impervious to the emotional manipulations of a woman. You have to train yourself to get to that point because it is very easily to become emotionally attached to a beautiful woman, especially if the chemistry is there, the vibe is good, is a good fit for you. It is hard for you to not become attached. So the mistake is that you become attached and you, again, start working on her schedule. When you work on her schedule, you are engaging in the process of repairing her ego. Lori Harvey got with Michael B. Jordan after Future destroyed her ego. And he gave her the red carpet without making her earn it. Because even though, let's say you go through a tumultuous breakup, separation, split, whatever, that is a victimless crime. The other person is not wrong for doing you the way that they did you. Because a lot of the pain, a lot of the disappointment that we experience in life is self-inflicted. And you also cannot look at what you did to the other person. See, we tend to think one-sided. Women is specifically, they are not built to acknowledge your emotional state because by definition, you're not supposed to be emotional. You're supposed to be emotionless. You're supposed to be logical. You're supposed to be full of logic. You're not supposed to entertain these toxic games that these women like to play, which is, again, nothing other than emotional aerobics. It's just emotional aerobics. They want their emotions played with because they want to know that feeling. They need to have every emotion a woman has, she needs to feel. She needs to feel it. This is why you have to be consistently inconsistent and unpredictable. Be consistent but unpredictable. It's a fine line between those two. But beauty can definitely equal manipulation or manipulative character traits, because a woman that is beautiful and she knows how to accent it, dress it up, she knows her power. She knows what her beauty can get her, which is why she comes to a level of a standard. She knows what her beauty can get her. She knows what her beauty can't get her. This is the same reason you see them dealing with certain type of men all the time and consistently complaining. Baby, it's an option you don't have to do this. You can go the other way. So at the very first sign, red flag, of, let's say, quote unquote, toxicity, something that you feel is not going to be beneficial, or it's something that cannot be worked on, because no one is going to come to you, I would say, at 100%. Now, you want to be 100% as far as understanding yourself, what you want out of life, things like that. But we all have character flaws and strengths. No one is going to be perfect. No one is going to be perfect. So the guys who, like I said, Michael B. Jordan, they square. You have to be aware of the women that you are interested in. You have to know everything about it. No different than a man who's looking into getting to motorcycles. He needs to know everything about them before he get his dumb ass on it. And next thing you know, his head is off on the other side of the highway because he was just excited. He saw it. It was, visually appealing. He saw the respect it got. He saw the attention it got. He said, I want to get on there. I want to go. Never rode a bike in his life. He hops on a Ducati, the big dog, and tries to do the dash. He tries to go the full speed, and he crashes out. This Michael B. Jordan scenario clearly reveals, and I may drop the link in the video that I did about how women use men to repair the ego. See, there's this one-sided narrative that women like to go with, is very not cliche, but it's very funny. He wasted her time. Now, if this was the other way around, if it was the story headline that Lori Harvey threw out marriage and Michael B. Jordan was like, nah, and broke it out, he would be all type of toxic. He wasted her time, etc., etc. But because it's Lori Harvey, she's too young. She didn't want to cash in. She still needs to have fun and live life. They come with all of these excuses and justifications on her ignorant choice to leave a man of value such as Michael B. Jordan. Again, these women would throw away a relationship over a dick. They said penis size trumps all. This is a further confirmation that I told you money does not buy them happiness. Money cannot make them happy. Money is only a thing when it's needed. So again, if they're financially secure, which they ultimately would like to get away from because they're working long hours, they have to sacrifice a lot of things that they want to do for themselves. So when they get a man, they do want him to be financially stronger than her, at least by double, because she wants him to be able to cover his part and her part in all endeavors, festivities, trips, etc. This is just the way the game goes. But in all, money does not buy happiness. It's only an issue when it's a need for it. A bill needs to be due. The friends are going on a trip. They just went to 3 trips back to back. Now it's time for you to kick in and show, we can do trips too. We got to keep up. This craziness. So when you see, the women talking about standards, and they always talk about financially, that's economically attractive men. That's bullshit. That is simply her way of saying she's tired of working and she's ready for a man to come in and clean up. Oh, no. No. That's fool's gold, baby. It will not happen that way. Maybe a very minute percentage, and that will be for the baddie exceptions that have not squandered their youth and overexplored their sexual liberated status. You, 2 kids in tow, multiple fair relationships, no real work on oneself, a vast social media resume, pictures, bullshit. Nah. You will keep doing that same thing until you spin out and, and get into your cubby hole. But yes, beauty can be manipulative. If you're not equipped, if you don't, again, you have to know what you're doing. A lot of guys want these beautiful women. You see these NBA players, NFL players getting taken every day. Every day. It may come within a year, 5 years, but they eventually get took. The women said, okay, I enjoyed the fruits for the first few years. I stunted on my friends with the new cars, the new bags that he bought me. Now it's time for me to tuck this sack away. So they start tucking the money. You notice how these athletes always come out with stories that the agent or someone smuggled or embezzled $8 million here, $4 million here. You don't think women be in on these capers? You'll be a fool to think not. So these women get away scot-free, and you see these women on social media living their best lives. You have to know what you're doing, because if not, you'll just be the repair guy. You'll repair her ego. She'll leave and go back to doing the same thing that she was doing prior to, because she has to get back now. She really couldn't get the get back on you because you were the repair guy. So just like taking your car to a mechanic, you don't go in while the mechanic is under your hood or under the car and you kick his ass. Your car still needs to be fixed. So why would you injure? Why would you cause harm to the mechanic that's doing the work? But this is just me breaking down this Michael B. Jordan, Lori Harvey dynamic, why it broke up, the reason he was there. Again, you repaired ego. You repaired the ego, and she said, okay, I'm good. I can go back to what I was doing, in her mind, stronger, wiser, and healed in a sense. But you guys let me know what you think about this video. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Date Master.